Outside the window, a person could see a northern section of Charleston's south side. Up on the 4th floor, our vantage point held a spectacular view of an area most tourists would never get to see. Inside that same window, an doctor was calmly finger combing his straw-colored hair. His shoes were well worn and appeared to be very comfortable. During our sessions, he often wore striped long-sleeve shirts, cufflinks, and a tack in his tie. Across the room's perimeter sat a large, handsome black man. A faded military hat was settled lightly over his brow, allowing the brim to shadow his eyes and nose. Loose and broken threads appeared on most of the hat's seams. Staff Sergeant chevrons were pinned over a 60s peace sign medallion. White sweat stains surrounded the hat's hemline. Both his hands clutched a clear plastic bag filled with pill bottles. He would often shake the bag, as if to make sure there was still something in it. This man's bearing indicated he was unable to enjoy the spectacular panorama visible through the hospital's huge plexiglass window. While the other two of us were trading comments about the skyline, he just slumped in his chair. At bi-weekly interviews, our very small group would gather in one of 2 different rooms. This room had a window, the other did not. I often wondered why my attendance was required here. It didn't have anything to do with my recent loss of a civil service position. Could it be my talent for getting thrown out of major chain stores? I always had enough money in my pocket. Could it be my drinking? Everybody drank. Before every session, the doctor, who always dressed so neatly, would find his tiny band of former heroes roaming an interior hallway or standing in a nearby corner space. As he approached, his eyes always got there first. His glance was hazel green and piercing. Once corralled, our small troop would form a very loose-knit pecking order, and the good doctor would provide a direction. The 2 of us would tag along behind him like ducks, paddling after their mother. What a sight we were.
Follow me! I'm the infantry!
Observing this motley trio, a lesser fool might comment that the use of a cattle prod would be of some merit. A more learned fool would remind himself that these men were proven combat soldiers during their youth. To use any kind of force against them might turn their dream sequences into sudden and fateful reality. The good doctor was acutely aware of this. His chosen field dealt with the many awkward situations these types of personalities could find themselves in, especially Vietnam-era vets who had been
out to pasture for more than 30 years.
The Iraq-era soldier was just entering the Veterans Administration system, but for any veteran, anxiety is equal in principle. Anxiety was at the core of our many dysfunctions. Anxiety would actually rule our behavior without informing the brain's better sense region. The Iraq-era soldiers were probably experiencing the same, despite the 30-year gap between wars. The doctor knew this. We didn't. The Iraq-era veterans might not either. We just wondered why it was so hard to keep a job. Maybe they would too. As for the doctor, this was his chosen field, his place in society where he thought he could do the most good. His ultimate purpose was to counsel the psyche of human beings who had been thoroughly trained to act without thinking, these believing their way of thinking to be the norm. His genuine caring and deep interest as practitioner to us thinkers was truly evidenced by his accepting the paltry government salary the Veterans Administration relinquished to such educated professionals. During the 60s and 70s, these thinkers were unleashed upon the general public by the thousands. One can find these types of people in prisons, jails, halfway houses, or pushing shopping carts down sidewalks of any city in the USA. The Department of Defense had disowned these thinkers when time limitations on veterans' benefits demanded. Some thinkers actually tried to fit into their past environments, only to become nomadic and eventually desperate, succumbing to life's natural and man-made catastrophes. Others found themselves in hospital wards, such as this, many years after homecoming that did not go so well. Surveying the room again, I began to hiccup. The situation is the same. There are still 3 of us, the good doctor at the helm, and a wall directly behind me. And a pill bottle shaking between us. Such attentive students we are, one with his head in the clouds, the other with clouds in his head. Suddenly the spectacular view vanished. Everything I see out the window is turning darker. I close my eyes. When my eyes open, I realize I'm leaning, both hands grasping the window's interior sill. My eyes are swelling and wet. All I see are poles, wires, antennas, and cement buildings all stacked in front of a brackish gray sky. The beauty has disappeared.
Take a breath. Breathe. Just breathe. It'll be all right. Welcome home.